Hey guys, Kyle, the Death Knight of Anime here, bringing you my review for My Hero Academia, chapter 268. So, the big focus of this chapter this week was essentially on Mirko in her attempt to stop Shigaraki's evolution by destroying his containment unit. And the thing is, with that being the case, if there's anything this chapter showed to me, is that any hope, any small degree of any small degree of hope I held on to that they would be able to stop from Shigaraki's evolution or kneecap his evolution in this week. Kneecap his evolution was pretty much kneecapped in this week's chapter because it's because I think the one thing that was definitely reinforced in this chapter is that not only is it already too late, but not only is it already too late in order to stop Shigaraki's evolution in general, but but at this point it also doesn't matter whether he's released or not, because if you see that on that one page close up on Shigaraki's face, it's kind of hard to tell, but it does look like his eyes are glowing, which more than likely is an indication that he's managed to gain a much more significant amount of control than first thought. Because how despite that progression bar on the doctor's current console saying 74-75%, I think just through Shigaraki's strength of will alone, he's managed to gain not only a lot more power than initially first thought, but a lot more control over that power as well. And it's one of those things where I'm not going to it's one of those things as well where I'm not going to discredit the possibility. But that disrupting the process early could still be beneficial in the sense of preventing from Shigaraki from reaching full power. But as far as stopping the actual evolutionary process itself, to me, that ship has pretty much sailed. If this chapter proved anything, it's that Shigaraki has a lot. Just in this chapter, even though we haven't actually, it's one of those chapters where, even though we haven't actually seen anything, the extent of what his destructive capabilities are yet, you can still tell that Shigaraki, as of now, he's wielding a lot of power, the kind of destructive force that could basically wipe out at least a good half, if not all, of the heroes here, and even in society as a whole. That's the kind of destructive power it really feels like he's wielding here. And by that metric, it's, like I said, any hope of stopping the evolutionary process in itself has pretty much failed. And at this point, it's really just a question of how big of an atom bomb you want to unleash. Because make no mistake, that one panel of Shigaraki smiling in the tank is all we need to know about the level of his destructive capabilities far exceed ours, the heroes, and probably even the doctor's expectations. Because there is no good scenario where things come out all roses and happy ending roses. It's just either bad situation or terrible, and it's really a case where we're destroying where I almost want to say that destroying the containment unit might just make things actually worse. Might just make things worse than if Mirko were to leave it alone, because there's a possibility of Shigaraki growing unstable, but in the case of him growing unstable, he could basically unleash all that power unintentionally too. So it's like I said, there's no good scenario here. It's just what type of atom bomb you want to unleash on the world. And trust me, you do not want to unleash an atom bomb on the world. That is just no. There's just no good. There's no good scenario here right now. It's looking kind of hopeless, if anything else, if I'm being honest with you all. Um, of course, and okay, of course, and of but of course, another interesting thing to talk about with this chapter is the ending, where Present Mike and Aizawa are basically ready to go in and kick some ass, and just the setup with that alone of basically Aizawa and Present Mike like pretty much in their battle ready poses and whatnot, ready to kick some ass. That's one thing that's one of the things I'm actually really most excited for. I was most excited for out of this entire chapter because we've seen the like we've seen the friendship and connection between President Mike and Aizawa being like pretty much slowly built up throughout the series, and even in what is it and even in Vigilante, but we've never actually seen what they can do but we've never in some ways seen what President Mike and Aizawa can do when they fight together, and how they can how their quirks can be used together when in like a team based scenario. Like there's actually a lot of potential to see how Mike and Aizawa like work off each other and coordinate with each other's fighting styles and abilities. Like their team, honestly, it's one of those things where their team up really could be the greatest we've seen in the series thus far, and like that's how hyped I am for it. Like this is this is something that I didn't know I wanted to see, but just in the fact that we're going to see it, yeah, there's a lot of reason to be hyped about this, and just I'm curious to see how I'm especially curious to see how Aiza was like canceling abilities, and Mike's like basically sound wave abilities can be used together, because I'd be interested to see if there's a way that they can combine those two elements together for sure almost. Um, but yeah, just there's so many reasons in order to get hyped for that, I guess. Um, with that said, if I had one minor complaint about the chapter, it's that last week gave us such an epic setup between Hawks like first Tokoyami and Dabi, and none of that was. But this week, none of that was. And that's all that happened last week. But none of that was even briefly touched on this week, which is one of those times where it didn't. It did. The fact that it didn't focus on that made the chapter feel a lot more self-contained, and I understand wanting to focus on, in order to focus on that a little more, in order to have an entire chapter devoted to that. But it is. It was also one of those things where I just wanted a little something extra. Where having something just a little extra would have been nice, even if it's just like a brief little moment of seeing Tokoyami and Dabi like fighting each other. That in itself, it would have been good enough. But yeah, again, it's one of those double things where on one hand, it made the chapter more self-contained by not getting even just a little moment like that, but at the same time, yeah, I still kind of wanted a moment like that. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I can be freaking be weird sometimes with what I want out of a manga chapter. Now, but yeah, as a whole, it's not a big deal either, because the chapter, what we got in this chapter was still good. Now, tell me if I was just now. Someone tell me if I was just seeing things, or did that Nomu release, or did that Nomu release that liquefaction quirk from the area of its legs just below its ass? Because if so, that gives a new meaning to the term thick. Like, holy, like seriously, that it was actually kind of hilarious how much that one panel like pretty much made it look like that Nomu had a pretty fat ass. Like, it was again, I don't mean to fat shame here, but yeah, that Nomu had a pretty chunky ass. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, it was so weird, but just so funny, I guess. I don't know. Um, but yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and list your Crunchyroll. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.